don't know why I said it in my head, but listen, hey, we are back. Oh, warriors, come out and play, podcasters. All right, no, I'll play with you. Well, we here, man. No Cooldown, episode 21. We finally legal, man. We don't even, you know what I'm saying, need to bust out the ID all quick like that. We can whip it out if we need to. You know what I'm saying? We are here. It is your host with the most, ThatManTripp. You know what I'm saying? Leader of the ACC back in the building. We are here, of course, with Gwyneth Paltrow. You know what I'm saying? Gwen Stefani. You know what I'm saying? WenEazy, the Bodega Baron. How you doing, dog?
I'm good. I love how you use like two blonde women to put my name in.
Hey, that's off the top of my head. Those clothes I come with.
Yes, I'm definitely here.
Oh shoot, bro! I was gonna go. You can go Gwen Stacy or Gwen Stacy, but that's another blonde one. Like, God dang. We'll come back to the drawing board on that later. You know what I'm saying? We'll figure some out after this. We'll make a focus group. But yeah, man, how you doing this week, dog?
I'm chilling. It's been a pretty hectic week, but we move forward as always. I feel like I say that every week, but I'm never wrong. So here we are.
Yeah, man. That's facts, man. The time keeps on rolling. As for myself, it's been a pretty solid, chill week, man. It was Real's birthday on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? I had to go MIA for a minute. Blessed to see 24 and blessed to take all this stuff forward, man. We got you know what I'm saying? It's been a slower week with news and such, but you know, we got a couple of topics here. You know what I'm saying? We're ready to get into it. So I mean, we 21, so we don't got no warm up. There's no chaser. We going straight in, man. We got to change it up this time. All right, you ready? You ready, Gwen?
I am definitely ready.
Man, let's get into it, man. No warm up needed. Let's get into the big stories from the week. First and foremost, this week the Swedish video game conglomerate completed the acquisition of Eidos Montreal, Crystal Dynamics, and Square Enix Montreal, and all related IPs for an estimated $300 million. And that Swedish video game conglomerate is known as Embracer Group. They have reportedly picked up a catalog of over 50 IPs, including franchises like Legacy of Kain, Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Thief, Sleeping Dogs, and many, many more. So, I mean, this kind of came out of like low-key nowhere. I mean, Square Enix were kind of sitting pretty like with, you know, what they was doing, but they sold Eidos, they sold Crystal Dynamics, and Square Montreal. 3 really big studios, of course, in the North American segment. What's going on, Wen?
I like this. Usually acquisitions are kind of iffy. So like the Activision one wasn't like the best. And it was like a mixed bag of feelings for a lot of people. I think that this is going to be good. I think this is good for Square Enix, and I think it's good for these franchises, mostly because I feel like Square Enix needs to refocus. Because I believe that a lot of their success has been in their more JRPG, like that area style of gaming, like for Final Fantasy, like their bigger IPs. And I feel like these smaller IPs just don't get the love. Like for the simple fact that we don't have a Sleeping Dogs 2 is insane to me, because Sleeping Dogs 1 is amazing. Everybody has said it. Everybody has said that Sleeping Dogs 1 is an amazing game. So the fact that we don't have a sequel is kind of nuts to me. Same thing with, I think Tomb Raider was kind of still left in the dust as well. I completely forget every single time that there's 3 different Tomb Raider games. Because I remember the first Tomb Raider game got announced. There was a lot of hype for it. 2 and 3, I did not hear as much. Like it was kind of quiet. And I feel like honestly giving this to another company might not be the worst move, you know. Square Enix obviously gets money out of it, and Embracer gets a bunch of new IPs to work with. I would love to see what they do with these IPs.
Like, I'm gonna keep it a stack, bro. Embracer got this for a steal. Embracer got all these, like 3 studios, $300 million. Now, considering what they have in the backlog, and maybe if their contracts and stuff and licenses still hold up, Crystal Dynamics, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, first and foremost, they dropped a banger, you know what I'm saying, in the past year or so. Apparently it was under Square Enix performance issue or performance metrics and whatnot, which is a whole nother problem in and of itself. I feel like there might be a little bit of harshness on, you know, on certain Western development from Square Enix, because it's like they set high bars for all for certain projects, you know what I'm saying? Well, maybe some of them were definitely duds, like, you know, Marvel's Avengers, that was a definite dud. But then some of them were actually, like, again, surprisingly hold up very well. And it's like, it's kind of cutthroat on that end. So I feel like they were really ready to slim down and just kind of cut off that segment and really focus in on, you know, the the JRPGs and like the core companies that they really like are rocking with. So for me, it seems like a pretty decent pickup. And I mean, all the IPs that Embracer has, I'm just trying to run down the list again. Like ran through Legacy of Kain, Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Thief, Sleeping Dogs. They have Deep Silver, so they have all the what's it called? It was like was it Dead? Well, I mean Dead Island franchise and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What's it called? They have somebody else too. I'm trying to remember.
Is that Saints Row?
I believe.
Wait a minute.
I believe oh, there we go. They have Gearbox. So they literally, they have Gearbox. So they have everything Borderlands. They have THQ Nordic, which is a bunch of different game studios that come, to and fro. Saber Interactive has like what's it called? What's that one shooter? Oh my gosh, I was about to say Rocket League. Rogue Company. It's an Embracer Group. And Saber Interactive was the one under a Rogue Company. But they have a decent little portfolio, and then they've been acquiring stuff like crazy year over year, like 850 franchises so far. It seems like they have a good, I guess, grip on things in terms of acquiring certain stuff and whatnot. I just want these studios to get the proper support that they can. Like, of course, Eidos has a special place in my heart because they had a hand in the first Kingdom Hearts. You know what I'm saying? Like, Crystal Dynamics has a lot of stuff that's going on in the background. Literally, like, there was another Tomb Raider that just got announced at the Unreal Engine 5 event. They said there's another one coming. So I don't know how that kind of places things in, a state of possible disarray. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. But for me, I feel like a lot of Square Enix's focus lied in, Eastern segments, JRPGs, stuff that didn't have to do with them. And there was a bit of like, I think it's a little bit of a lack of TLC on the Western front in that sense. So maybe them going to Embracer and kind of getting a bigger slate. And they're coming into a situation where they're probably some of the biggest companies that are now leading the line. You know what I'm saying? Like Gearbox, THQ Nordic, and they're probably ahead of the pack after that. You know what I mean? Or THQ Nordic's behind them. So it's like it's Gearbox and them, and like those three, like Eidos, Square Montreal, and what's it called, Crystal Dynamics. So it's just like, I think this is a good move. But honestly, if Embracer can really shift a little bit of the perspective and get a lot of these franchises up off the ground and rolling again, it could be a really, really much more of a steal than we think for Embracer, bro. Like, again, only 300 million and like 50 IPs. That's a lot of ground to cover. And again, especially if you want to make certain things multi-platform, you want to make it console exclusive, there's a lot of ways you can go, with that. And it's a potentially great deal for what's it called, for Embracer. I'm trying to look at these different games, bro. Oh yeah, people were talking about, bring Gex back, baby, bring Gex back. I'm like, nigga, Gex, what in the world? Oh shoot, that's hilarious, bro. They said Gex. They said, of course, don't make another Avengers, bro. Keep that. Don't ever do that again. You can let that die. Let that. I'm
actually a pretty big fan of the Deus Ex series. I haven't beat the newest one.
Another one. Oh my god,
that game is really good.
We need another one, bro. We need another Deus Ex. Deus Ex is a very, very underrated series, bro. From top to bottom. Like,
I remember I bought it when I bought it on release, and then like 3 months later it was on PlayStation Plus, and I was a little pissed because I was like, damn, was nobody buying this game like that, or did I just lose $60? Because I could have got this game for free. But it's a really good franchise. I love the concept.
On everything, bro. It was nice, bro. What's it called? Holy hell, Eidos had a bunch of stuff. I mean, they have Just Cause. Just Cause, like,
my god, those games are good. I mean, like, some people will argue with me that they're not, but they're good for what they are.
They're fun. No, very, very fun. And
I'm gonna go see if I can go buy the collection because
I mean, if they still got it under their belt too, Time Splitters, the whole entire. There. So I'm like, that's actually a really solid thing. And then, of course, my personal favorite. Nah, I'm just fucking with you. But Mini Ninjas, bro. I remember playing that game on the DS or whatever the fuck it was. I remember playing that, and I was like, yo, this is actually like low key kind of fun. What the hell is this? Let me see Square Montreal slate real quick. Let me see Square Montreal's games.
This is a lot of companies.
Yeah. Okay. And Square Montreal looks pretty mobile. They look like they do all the mobile stuff, which is fair again for mobile segments or whatnot. That's getting big. But yeah, for me, my verdict, honestly, I think this has a potential to be like super one-sided in favor of Embracer. But I mean, also it could be a net benefit for Square Enix as well because they're shaving off some weight that they they consistently kind of undermarked in terms of their performance metrics and what they were expecting from, you know, a couple of these studios. So it's like, you know, for them, you know, cutting off some extra fat, trimming down a little bit for the company size, and for Embracer, they take on more IP. So, I mean, win-win.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a win-win. It's like if I don't ride my bike anymore, and then I sold you my bike, and you won a cycling race or whatever. Like, I was never using the bike. It's not like, I mean, could I have hopped on it and did it myself? Maybe, but like if I'm not doing it, why not? I made some money by selling the bike, and you got some money by making use out of it. You know, I think it's pretty solid dub.
True. I agree. I would also like, so, you know what I'm saying, a random 10% cut out of that, because I mean, this bike meant a lot to me in hindsight. I don't know, you know.
Maybe we might see that down the line. Maybe we might see that.
Oh man, that's crazy. But yeah, shout out to that whole situation, man. Again, a lot of acquisition stuff has been happening this year. It's so much acquisition stuff. It's ridiculous. But yeah, moving on to the next topic of the day. According to Kotaku this week, there might be a new Mafia game coming into the release pipeline, coming at the same time as news that Mafia developer Hangar 13 studio head Hayden Blackman is leaving the company. A Mafia 4 game set to be a prequel before all the original trilogy is said to be in the works. Now, as Hangar 13 has been reduced to some auxiliary support for development projects like Tiny Tina's Wonderlands under 2K, it seems that they might be finally making their push back to the front of the line with their next major project. So what's going on, man? Mafia 4, a little bit of reshuffling. You know what I'm saying? What are you thinking?
I've always wanted to play Mafia 3, mostly because I got scared away by the reviews, which is what I feel like a lot of people
Play it.
felt the same. Yeah, I heard a lot of good things, and I remember I had it on my PlayStation, but the PlayStation, that thing is just blowing dust. So like, I do plan, if I ever get a good amount of money together, I might just buy the collector's edition and run through those games, because I heard really good things about them. You don't really see a lot of like, which is a genre that I'm really surprised we don't see a lot more of. Like, I'm surprised we don't see a lot more of like organized crime open world games. Like, I remember we saw with like Scarface, the game on PSP. If anybody's ever played that, I heard that was like, my brother used to play it all the time. That game was super dope. Yeah. But like, even in San Andreas, when you used to have the turf wars, like that used to be super gas. Like, I used to really enjoy going and taking up turf and doing things like that. So I'm just surprised that we don't see more open world games like that in general. Mafia was like kind of one of the only ones who really dove into it.
Yeah, like the hardcore, like kind of historical equivalent of that stuff. Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, like I'm surprised. Honestly, if they made a Mafia 4, I wish they would kind of bring it more towards the present. To be honest with you,
facts.
Because I like the idea of it, but it's old. Like Mafia 3 was a crazy concept. I love the concept of Mafia 3. I just haven't played it yet, but I hated like the fact that we're gonna be in this old timey the whole time. Like there's I guess because we call them gangs now and not mafias, you could still do Mafia 5 in the present day. Like, we're not gonna argue with the semantics of it. Give me a cool organized crime open world game. Like that's what we need.
Yeah,
GTA ain't doing it. Like we need that.
Nah, that's a fact though. I would have to agree with you in the same. I'm pretty much in the same boat with you. I don't mind a Mafia 4. But I know for me, one thing I hated was like kind of the driving and kind of like their dedication to some of the more archaic, I guess, developments of that time and stuff like that. So I'm like, I mean, there's a place for it, cool. But when Mafia 1 and 2 are really, you know, knee deep into that stuff, I freaking hated the cars. I hated the driving Mafia 1 and 2. It was so bad. I hated it. Everything was so clunky. I didn't like it. That was my personal opinion. But that's just cars in that time period, whatever. But I would personally agree with you and say we should honestly move it forward, making like, again, like maybe a death of the you know what I'm saying, death of the crime family, or you know, or maybe a kind of that shifting of the identity into the modern age, like in the like 70s and 80s. You know what I mean? Like that kind of shift into a bigger city. You're seeing how, you know, certain things progressed, you know, past Lincoln. You know what I mean? Like, I think it could have been cool plays with that. A prequel, I don't mind. I guess maybe they'll give more views to Italy in like the first like the actual first ever, like, you know, I don't know why the hell I did that. That's weird. But like the first ever, you know, like Italian crime families, you know what I'm saying, in the United States, you know, trying to making their presence known and stuff like that, like before like Sal and stuff and all that shit like that. Like, I can see that, and that might be cool. But I would personally be more, I guess, excited from a project that's further in time, again, closer to present day. I would say like 70s, it's like late 70s, early 80s, or like mid 70s to late 70s, like something around that time period. Like, so it's right after, you know what I'm saying, right after Lincoln Clay's time, and he's kind of like not necessarily like a retired veteran or nothing like that, but he's like kind of settling down as his own thing. Or you can start another character that's related to, you know, Lincoln Clay, or like in that same sphere of influence or familiarity, or you can go to a completely new city and it's kind of started up there, and you can create those links off of that. And, you know, I think that would also be cool too. And depending on the choices you made in Mafia 3, it would be cool to branch off from there. Like, what if you killed one of the people off? What if you know, you allowed Sal to basically run a whole town, run a whole city, and then they send him off this way? And it's more of like a national conquest. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of different places they could have taken it. A prequel, though, I'm not mad at it, though. As long as they keep refining the mechanics. And please just make driving bearable. Just make driving bearable, and you have my attention. Honestly, that's pretty much all I have to say on that, man. I hope Hangar 13 gets to, you know, really get this off the ground out of the concept stages.
For sure.
Honestly. Okay. Sliding a little bit forward. We got some Apex news again, man. With Apex Season 13 Saviors just around the corner, we finally have an in-depth look at Ranked Reloaded and the tweaks being made to the sweatiest corner of the Apex games. So there's been a whole host of changes. You know what I'm saying? Some I wasn't privy to from beforehand, but we got to look a full breakdown now, including kills becoming uncapped rank points, but now they're worth increasingly less down to a point floor. So the more kills you get, the less points you'll receive for each kill, down to a certain minimum. We have new entry costs for all the tiers. We have increased assist timers from 10 seconds to 15 seconds that are also refreshed when players are revived. A new rookie tier for brand new players, with bronze having entry costs. So we're kind of adjusting that scale and adding a tier below bronze, and a whole lot more. So, I mean, this is a whole lot of reworks, man. I've seen some mixed opinions, some mixed views on it. How you feel about it?
As a person who doesn't play ranked, but I do, so I don't play ranked seriously. I should say that. I shouldn't say I don't play ranked, because I'll play ranked with like my girlfriend and my friend just to see how far we get whenever. Like, we're not being like, yo, we're playing Apex today, make sure you're on, we're gonna warm up, whatever. We're just like, oh, are we all on right now? You guys want to run some Apex? So I want to say, as a hardcore casual, I think these changes are cool, because like I'll have games where, like, I remember I got to silver last rank, but I remember, or I got to like bronze 1 in 1 point, and everybody else, like my other 2 teammates, were bronze 2, and I was like, how come you guys are bronze 2? And they were like, oh, we just didn't get more RP than you. And it's because I was getting most of the kills, like I was finishing it off, all that shit. And it's like, it sucked because I didn't want to rank faster than them by any means, mostly just because it's not like I was getting straight squad wipes by myself the whole time. I just was like, I don't understand why aren't you guys getting points? And I'm really happy about this, because it makes Apex more of a team, because it's a team game, and that's something that a lot of people who play Apex don't really understand. And you can ask anybody who plays ranked this, that people just don't play as a team a lot of the time. So maybe now, if you're going to get points for assists, you will start playing as a team. Maybe now that kills aren't the best way of making RP, you will start playing it differently. The only thing that I'm afraid of with the kill thing is, like, people are going to prioritize kills less, and they're going to start ratting. But people have already been ratting in Apex ranked regardless. So it's, I don't know how worse it will get, but it also still means, like, you're still going to get RP for kills. So it's not a bad thing.
I feel like the effect's going to be negligible, again, because people already do it to a high rate. Literally, as soon as one person goes down, they're already like ready to rat. So I feel like the effect in game and ranked would be pretty, like, it wouldn't make too much of a difference. Pretty inconsequential, honestly. But looking at some of the different, you know, again, the emphasis, again, what you started there, team play, and the focus being team play, and trying to reward everybody from being the best team player. We're seeing stuff like I actually didn't mention this in the listing, but for every kill that someone gets on the team, everybody gets RP for it. So if you get a kill, you get 100% of that RP, but everybody else gets half. So it's still an incentive, you know what I'm saying, for people to be, you know, be closer together. And if you're killing, everybody's winning. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's a really good incentive for that. You know, just again with the kill limits and uncapping the RP for it and placing less emphasis. Very, very good for the sense of people are not trying to just slay out and go their own way and just, you know, force kills and be idiots and make stupid decisions in games that cost you, you know, actual wins. You know, that really helps a lot to solidify some things. One thing I thought was interesting was adding demotions. So you can get demoted, bro. Like, yo, if you're in a tier and like you drop down below a certain threshold, I believe they said they'll give you 3 grace games of like no RP. If you make it to a tier, you have 3 grace games. And if you drop below, like you keep losing at that tier, you don't get dropped out. But from the 4th game, you start losing, you can drop back down into the lower tier. And I think they said once you drop down, you go like 50% of the lower tier. So it said the example was if you drop down from Masters, you'll be like 50% of Diamond 1. So you'll be halfway there again. You have to kind of work that way back up. A little bit more of a skill gap. I'm not going to lie. Because people, I mean, you got to play real, like, you got to play real, like, you know, tactical. You got to be really, you know, conservative. Because you just kind of going. You know, it doesn't really necessitate risk, or it doesn't really imply risk in actually, you know, you playing these games and trying to be as tactical as possible. And sometimes you end up in the best situation. Sometimes you don't. And I think that's cool for the sense that, you know, you're not just starting at one level, you make it to one tier and like, oh, let's just try again. It doesn't matter. Let's just try again.
Yeah.
This is going to suck ass though, because I'm going to get demoted so much. I'm going to get demoted so much. It's going to piss me off. But I understand for the sake of the gameplay and the experience of you trying to work your way up to Master and Apex Predator and all stuff like that, there needs to be an inherent risk. Like it's more, again, it's more pronounced. And I think demotions is a good way of going about it. Yeah, what else was there? Yeah, the rookie tier and the RP thresholds. That's hilarious. And people were like, yo, bruh, the rookie tier gonna be crazy, bro. I ain't trying to be no rookie. It's only for brand new players. So if you're already like an established player, like you have to start in just bronze. You start in like playing bronze, which is amazing. But the amount of soccer accounts that are probably gonna like spawn up and just abuse rookie lobbies are gonna be it's gonna be filthy. That's gonna be a sad confidence boost for some of these folks. But honestly, overall, I think the changes are pretty welcome. I mean, listen, they want to focus on making, again, team play the focal point of every ranked experience. And excuse me, I think that's the core that needs to make this game as best as possible, especially in the ranked department. Focusing and amplifying that team play. And again, for people complaining about you're probably just trying to slay out and not help your team in the slightest, bro. You're probably just pick an Octane or pick a Wraith and just do whatever you do on the left hand side of the screen. You know what I mean? Like you're not for the team, bro. You're not helping nobody. Yo ass is the problem. Let's be real here.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so for me, like this is a really, really good shift. You know what I mean? This is a really, really good shift. And I appreciate that they're making these types of changes. I feel more incentivized to play ranked now because of the team experience. So I'm like, if I'm being a good support character, if I'm being a good, you know, again, a well-rounded player for my squad, we all win. We all benefit. You know, if I'm getting kills, if I'm getting assists, and I'm doing what I need to be doing, we're gonna get good points every time out because of where we're situated at. So again, value the team play, and I think that's the formula for success for ranked.
Yeah, I love it. I love it because it makes that like I said before, it just makes people who play Apex selfishly rethink their game plan of like, hey, maybe it would be more beneficial if I stuck with my team, type of thing.
Yeah, facts. Don't be a dickhead. They need to add that as like a banner or something like that right up top of the beginning of the game. Just don't be a dickhead. Dun, 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 and just let it and set it off, bro. Like, come on now. I agree though. I agree. All right, shoot. Let's get to the next topic, man. So, the Mountain Dew and Doritos Pope himself, Jeff Keighley. He stepped back out of the shadows to send the second shot in the summer game conference wave. We still have not come up with the proper name for it yet because E3 is gone. And he's trying to step it up this time because the Summer Game Fest has been officially announced and set for June 9th at 2 p.m. Eastern. And to double up on this, he announced that both the Summer Game Fest and the Game Awards at the end of the year will be screening in select IMAX theaters across North America and the UK for both events. So, I mean, interesting, honestly. The first time I've seen, you know, this be taken to this scale. What you think about it, Wen?
June 9th is a Thursday. Damn, I think I had a work meeting at that time. We'll see. Anyways, I literally just saw the date and I was like, am I gonna be able to stream that? And I'm like, no, I don't think I will. But how am I feeling about this? If I can't if I can't live stream it from the theaters, I'm not watching it in theaters. I would love the experience just to say I went to the theater to watch Summer Games Fest, but like, I know it's not going to be like, the thing is, and I say this, I say this all the time. Video game like video game fests, those trailers, like these big events have so much fluff that I don't know if I want to spend a full $13 to $16 to go to this movie theater to pay for expensive popcorn and soda to sit there and be disappointed for an hour and a half.
Bro, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Bro,
and then I can't even have
imagine.
my phone out. Like, come on,
Dog,
son.
imagine, bro. Listen, you go in there, you get, you know what I'm saying, you get your popcorn, candy, you pay about, you know what I'm saying, like a down payment on a car. You get that joint settled, you walk into the theater, you sit down and stuff. Like the first 10 minutes in, the one dude from the PC Gamer Show sits down on the desk and they're talking for 45 minutes. I would flip shit. I would be done. I would be done. Oh, nah, bro. Listen, they're talking about Civilization 18, bro. I'm like, bro, we can't do this, man. We can't do this. I'm sorry. I love Civ, but we can't do this. I would be so disappointed you wasted all that money to walk up. But I understand why they want to tap into it. Like, you know, people have like the esports events at theaters now. They wanted to lock in and have kind of bigger gatherings in select theaters. I understand business wise, which is a common recurring theme on the show now. Like, I understand business wise why they would do what they do. But me personally, I would rather watch that shit at home, bro. I don't want to pay $0, bro. Like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Like, I personally would not. But Game Awards, same thing, would not. But I can see the appeal, though, for some people. I can see the appeal of why, okay, listen, you want to kind of make it a communal thing. If you're a group of friends or something like that, you want to go. And, you know, again, do kind of they're trying to bring back the conference feel without the actual, you know, major logistics cost of having an entire audience pull up to the one venue that they're going to be at. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to keep it minimal, but also trying to create that, you know, that feeling of an E3 with a crowd at some point, you know, in a venue and whatnot, and kind of go that route, which I can see, I can understand. But in terms of Summer Game Fest, which is going to be the kind of the biggest thing right here in the room, I asked this question with the Xbox and Bethesda game show. Going to ask it again. What the hell do they even need to make sure it's a good show and not a snooze fest?
Dog, the fact that it's in theaters now, they really need to bring their air game. Like, I can't see anything again. You wanna know what would make me really happy? What I would love to see? I would love to see the next Wolfenstein or Doom game, because that's the only franchise that's been consistently good with them. Wait, no, actually, I can't even say that because the last Wolfenstein game wasn't good. It wasn't terrible, but I heard it wasn't good. But they were trying to do like a multiplayer, like a co-op version of the game, and I was like, all right.
Oh yeah, with his daughters.
Yeah, like I didn't hate it. It just wasn't executed correctly, and I can't hate them for trying to branch out, because I don't know how many times you can do a first-person shooter while also making Doom without like making the franchise or the genre whack. So I think that Wolfenstein and Doom have been very consistent in the past few years.
Right. Yeah.
Man, they're not gonna do it. I hope they don't do it. I'm praying they don't do it. But a Fallout 5?
Oh,
I don't know. Like, I'm gonna be dummy skeptical. I'm gonna be trash talking it on Twitter. I'm gonna be roasting this trailer. But a little part of me is gonna be like, what's that track list looking like?
This man said, "L disgusting." He just peeked out the side real quick and just peeked his head out.
Like, I don't trust the motherfuckers to fall out of their chair, let alone make another game. But like, I am a fan of the franchise, and I'm not even gonna hold you. My will is strong because I've seen Fallout 76 on Game Pass, and I have been like hesitant about it. I still haven't downloaded it, but like, I really would love a return to form for that franchise. But I think we need at least a cool another 3 years of nothing from them.
Facts.
Nothing from it.
Facts. 3.
Before I can give it another, like, all right, I'm gonna try it out this time.
Yeah, 3 years, and then Fallout New Vegas 2. I've already had this discussion before.
Oh,
don't even give me a regular.
That would be an amazing announcement. That right there. Like, no Fallout 5. Fallout New Vegas 2. That would actually be way better, because that would be their second. That would be That would be their best attempt at a second chance, to be honest with you. Like,
Facts.
if you really think about it, because people are going to see Fallout 5 and be like, you guys rushed it, you guys gave up on 76. Da, 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 da. New Vegas has always been like apart from the franchise, even though it's a Fallout game. People have always removed it so far from the main line that if you did a Fallout New Vegas 2, it would have all the hype of a new Fallout game without all the hassle of Fallout 76. I think that's a brilliant idea.
And again, Obsidian ain't been missing lately, so I'm like,
They haven't.
you just gotta make sure it's in the right hands. Give it back to the city and give them some time on the pressure cooker. Just let them know, hey, it's coming, bro. And Follow might be in a good track again. You never know. You never know. I will say, for the Summer Game Fest, please do not give me 3 strategy games back to back to back. I promise, I will hurt somebody. I will hurt somebody. Let's not do this.
Traveler, the Japanese RPGs. Octopath Traveler.
I got nothing against it. I got nothing against it. Yeah, facts, bro. Bold Kxngviii is 5. I'm like, well, what are we doing? What is this? I personally have no problem with it, but seeing it back to back to back, you know what I'm saying? It's not my cup of tea, bro. So let's not do that. You know what I'm saying? Before we have some conversations. But personally, I'm like, we need to have some multi-platform presence. If we can get something from PlayStation, that would be nice. You know what I'm saying? A release date on something, maybe, but you know, they on their own time. So hands up for that shit. You know, I don't know what they on, bro. A nice little, you know, Ragnarok, you know, release date would be cool. Let us know if we're actually getting it this year or not. That would be a nice inclusion. Just me. But yeah, that again, I said it for the Xbox One. If we get, usually if they show one major kind of like platform release, they'll kind of double it up on the common show. You know what I'm saying? So like if it's Summer Game Fest and it's Xbox, I'm like, yo, listen, what's up with Gear 6? Show some there, and then show like a little bit of an extension on the other one. By June, Modern Warfare is gonna be there. I'm not super excited, but I'm keeping an eye on it because the nostalgia's got a part of me. All right, the nostalgia does have still a little part of my rib, bro. It's a little part of my rib. So I have enough residual nostalgia left to be intrigued by what they reveal in June. So I'm interested to see how that goes. Whether that will be the Summer Game Fest or a Microsoft or a PlayStation show. I'm assuming again they'll have enough airtime to be on both. So definitely wanted to see how that rolls out. And yeah, besides that, please just don't keep us there for 5 hours. Please, bro. Summer Game Fest last year and the year before was long as hell. The whole week. I'm like, bro, just can you please clearly like striate everything in the market and be like, yo, listen, this is the main show. This is like 75 minutes. This right here, you can watch. And throughout the whole week, we got, okay, this is an interview, this is an interview, this is an interview. This is like smaller stuff, all right? This is Summer Game Fest light over here. You know what I mean? Yeah. Please let me get that compartmentalization before I'm like, you know, I'm getting false flagged and advertised, be like, oh yeah, I'm in there, Summer Game Fest every day. You know what I'm saying? This must be a new like conference block every day. When clearly it's freaking PC Gamer Show Part 5, you know what I'm saying? Dudes talking on the desk all the time. I'm like, okay, some of them I might tap into later on the YouTube and like catch the VOD of, but I'm not trying to sit through every, you know, singular game unless it piques my interest. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, please, just let's have some clear definitions on when, you know what I'm saying, when the main joint is, and not, I hope June 9th is not, the start of the event where it's like, okay, you got a filler event, the countdown for the reload, download, countdown, and then the actual joint. So besides that, hope it's a good one, man. You already know what it is, man. I wish everybody the best of luck. And I need some bangers, bro. I need some bangers. That's all I want.
I need some bangers and some betas. That's what I'm looking forward. I need some bangers and some betas. There's a lot of games that I still haven't heard anything from, and this is the time to speak up. And I completely agree with you. Like, we don't need 30-minute interviews every day. Like, if you want to do main show line and then have the interviews for the people like me who work from home and want to have it up, sure. But when you make these games and these interviews, when you put them in front of things that people really want to see, you're only putting them in a bad light, because I'm like, wow, I would love to see the new Apex whatever, but I can't because of Tales of Dragon Quest 73. They're talking about the character sketches, and while people who are fans of this would love to see this, you're messing up the flow of things here. You know, I'm trying to get in, get out, so I can tweet about it, so I can get in my Discord, and then I can watch everything else on my time.
Facts. Formatting is key, ladies and gentlemen. Formatting is key. Lee. All right. Anyways, let's move on to the next story on the docket. So again, we're back to this topic. And Twitch is getting their ass chased down news. YouTube developers have dropped an update for creators today that have enabled live redirects or raids as a Twitch equivalent, finally allowing streamers on the platform to send their viewers to different channels or channel premieres for certain videos. So the catch is that you must be a part of the YouTube Partner Program to review the benefits. Sad tier. But you also have to be approved by the streamer you are redirecting to, either through an on-site approval, or they can just be subscribed to you and it automatically bypasses that. So I mean, general thoughts on this, YouTube's next big leap in the streaming space.
I hope they bring this towards, well, no, the thing is, like, I want to say I hope they bring this towards smaller accounts as well, because there was a stream the other day where I had like 7-ish people in there, and not a huge number, but I still could have like made somebody's day by dropping off 7. Because like, as a person who streams on YouTube all the time, I'm streaming right now, if I get 2 to 3 viewers, I'm pretty ecstatic about my numbers. So 7 would have been pretty dope. But regardless of that, I understand why they're doing it. Hopefully, I'm assuming it's for a safety measure. Like, I get it. Like, we want people who we know to get approved, because if anything, they could have like bot things. Cause I actually got hit with a YouTube. Yeah, I actually got hit with a YouTube bot not too long ago, and I was like, I didn't even know they had these over here. So that was interesting. But they're doing it for safety reasons, so, which is what I'm assuming. I think this is a really, really good step forward for YouTube. They're really pushing this live streaming thing, which is honestly great, because I honestly didn't realize how everybody gives YouTube Live a lot of shit, and myself included, because it feels like it's behind Twitch, but it's not that far behind. Like, there are things that are on Twitch that aren't on YouTube, but I still enjoy the YouTube experience a lot more. The only issue I ever have with the YouTube experience is that it has a little bit of a delay compared to my Twitch streams. But that could be a factor of a few things that are outside of my reach. But I'm really excited to see them focusing more on the YouTube Live thing and really pushing for it.
Not wrong, man. We've been harping on this for a good intermittently throughout the past 5-6 months. YouTube is getting their sleeping giant in the making, bro. Week by week, month by month, they make these updates, they make these changes. They're listening to the community, they're getting feedback, they're hard at work with certain things, and they're making big strides. Honestly, it won't be long until, I think by the end of the year, they're gonna have 3 more big features that really push, push YouTube into that space of, hey, yo, this is really comparable right now. Okay, this is actually way more comparable than before. This seems like an actual, plausible way to switch to. I know they were a long way off in terms of UI and certain things, but it could actually really boost the reconsideration for a lot of creators moving that way. We've already seen people talk about it, and again, diversifying different stuff and moving from platforms from Twitch with the recent BS that's been going on with them. And they've done some changes, of course, with some updates and whatnot. But you see, people are like, they're starting to keep their eyes open. They're starting to open their eyes and be like, okay, what else is out here? And YouTube, they just need to lay down some of these things for their groundwork. Honestly, the live redirects. You know what I'm saying? The gifting, the gifting of subs and whatever. What's it called? Cheers. Some of the integrations like BTTV. I'm not sure if they're even there because I'm not streaming consistently on YouTube, but just having certain things about their UI that make it really easy and customizable to just tweak and add stuff, here and there. Again, some of the inputs, like input lag and whatnot, some of the connectivity. There's some things that are a bit behind, but you can tell they're actively working on it, man. They have people in their corner who are telling them, yo, listen, we seen Twitch do this shit. We got to catch up with this in this department. We got to make sure this is better than that. We got to make sure we do this. We haven't even seen them do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it seems like they have a solid direction, and with every passing month, they're gaining on Twitch. To me, they're gaining on Twitch, and it won't be long till they're really a really considerable platform to switch to for a lot of streamers. And I know for me, like, my focus has shifted over the past couple of months really, really hard to YouTube and making sure I'm consistent on that front. Not necessarily streaming, but just making content. And I was kind of peeping through the channels and looking through, like, off of the live stream that Wen was doing, you know what I'm saying? Wotaku channel on YouTube, if you don't know about it already. You know what I'm saying? Like, I looked at it like today. Actually, today I was just like going through channels and whatnot. He had like 163 live views on his stream, on his Overwatch stream. And I was like, yo, damn, that's crazy. It's off the rip. So it's a lot of different things that play into it, but the YouTube is laying the groundwork for something that could be really, really plausible for a lot of creators. One, the live stream aspect, and then two, once that turns into an actual video, you know what I'm saying? Like it's more live views, more potential revenue coming in. That's just the back end. Speaking on what they can do for the apps and the actual experience, they're a bit behind, but stuff like this shows you that they're gaining and they're thinking about this actively. So my question is, what do you think is the next big step up? Well, you can comment first, but then the question.
That's actually a really good question. Honestly, I think the next big step up would be, I would love a better clipping function. Like that's really the only biggest issue I have with YouTube, and that's honestly one of the main reasons that I still stream on Twitch is just because on Twitch I can literally press a button on my stream deck and I have a clip ready for when I'm off stream. I can't do that with YouTube as easily. But what I will say is that like one thing that to comment on what you were saying about the live views, it's really interesting because a lot of people that were showing up on my channel were like I was being recommended to, and as anybody who's a smaller streamer, that doesn't really happen as often as you would think, because some people will get recommended. Like I remember I was in Charles' stream and somebody came in like, oh, you were on my recommendeds, and I was like, oh cool, but Charles will have like 20 viewers. Like I've never been in somebody's recommended off of my 6 or 7 viewer count. While I was on YouTube though, my 3 or 4 turned into like 10, and I was like, where you guys all come from? And they're like, oh, you just got recommended to us. And I was like, all of you guys? None of you guys know each other, but you guys all showed up. And that's just the algorithm at work. And that's the beauty of YouTube, is that there is an algorithm, that there is, you
consistency.
Might fall into, one day you're going to fall into a niche and it's going to push it out to those people. Those people want it. Same thing with like my Gundam video that I did. Right now it's sitting at 1K views. It's not necessarily like the greatest video of all time. It's a great video. It's dope. But I was just sitting there like, where did you guys all come from? And it's just a bunch of Gundam fans that I fell into. The algorithm just clicked in with the video and it got pushed to the people and the people liked it. And that's just YouTube at work. It's a really good place to grow, honestly. Like I if you haven't started on YouTube or haven't looked into YouTube streaming, I think now is the best time than ever. The only hurdle I could see for any content creator when it comes to YouTube is literally just editing videos. But to be honest, if all you want to do is stream, you can do that on YouTube.
Facts. I've seen it done before. Real quick, I just saw a video on TikTok. It was like some interview with I believe it was Nicewig, and he was kind of talking and breaking down like how Twitch's algorithm, like basically he's like, yo, listen, you can't grow on Twitch. He was basically just straight up saying, he's like, yo, you can't grow on Twitch.
You can't.
When you look at the categories on Twitch, when you click on a category of a game or a certain genre, like just chatting, blah, 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 they'll go from the top viewed people on down. They'll do like a descending order from the most viewed people down. It's not a recommended channel. It's not, you know what I'm saying? There's anything like that. So it's numbers prioritized. It's already established audience prioritized. The people who are getting, you know, those big views already, they're getting fed into by the system. That's what that's, you know, doing. And there's not any room for discoverability on Twitch like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? They haven't accounted for any change like that. They haven't really advocated for anything like that. They just want to feed into the top creators, and we've seen it time and time again with Twitch Rivals, the algorithm, with everything that we've seen so far. That's their game plan. You know, feed into the big creators that they have already established are already making waves on their platform.
You can even see it when if you go to Twitch right now and you watch somebody's clip. Sometimes it'll show you like, oh, would you like to watch this other clip from them? Or it'll be like, hey, have you seen this Kxngviii clip? Like, and it's the creator won't even be anywhere near the same as Kxngviii.
Yeah,
like, it's
no niche.
They're not even the same. Like,
no overlap.
Completely different person. And it's just like, oh, have you seen Nick's Mercs' thing? And it's like, no. And that's kind of where Twitch is at right now. It's just like trying to feed the top percent. And I'm happy that YouTube is making these changes, these quality of life changes, because competition is good for everybody. Competition is good.
Facts, man. I'm telling you, I just need them to step on the gas, bro. I want Twitch to be scared, Nick. I want it to be, you know what I'm saying, the wire. You just hear a random whistle, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what time it is, man. I think it's good though. Great from YouTube, man. Great from YouTube. Okay. Really quickly, it's a little spicy one. You know what I'm saying? A couple of different opinions on this. So we had an interesting look at Overwatch 2 this week, you know, as Forbes reported that the game has been hit with a 99% drop in live viewership on Twitch over the last week. Now, after a big opening with the beta and a 1.5 million viewers, shattering a whole lot of records in the Overwatch 2 category, it dropped off to about like 15,000, I believe, at some rate. Now, as it progresses, people are starting to question whether the placing of Overwatch 2 will be as high or as low as they might think, kind of making bets on their pecking order and their place in the pecking order of popularity in the mainstream of Twitch games. You know, we're speculating, man. What's going on, Wen?
Actually, let me look it up now. I actually would like to see where we're at. Overwatch 2 right now has 3K viewers, and Overwatch 1 has 23,000. So
Damn.
not terrible. Yeah, it's not terrible, because the thing is, like, so the thing is, some people are actually in the Overwatch 1.
Oh, okay. They'll just switch their
category.
Game title.
Yeah. So, because technically it's basically the same
Yeah.
game.
Well,
like,
that doesn't help the branding.
No, it doesn't, because technically Overwatch 1 is going to become Overwatch 2 when the update comes out. Like, when the game drops, Overwatch 1 will migrate.
It gets absorbed into it. Yeah.
Yeah. But still, 20K off of 1 million is kind of nuts. Especially when you think about like how big that movement was. Because the thing is, like, I had no interest in Overwatch, no interest in the beta, but then when they were like, yo, we got drops, I definitely did wait 4 hours to get a drop. I definitely was in a stream for 4 hours to get a drop. I have a video coming out soon about my thoughts on Overwatch 2, so I'm not going to sit here and talk too much on it, but it is kind of sad. Another thing, though, and this is kind of important, Overwatch League, which is like the esports Overwatch, has a partnership with YouTube. So they don't even stream on Twitch. Because I was watching Overwatch League yesterday on YouTube. So that's another thing too, is to take into account, is that one of the bigger, because like when you have a League of Legends event, it's a really high number because people are watching it for the esports reasons. But that's but they're on Twitch. I don't know how many people were watching the YouTube stream. I didn't look at the number. I was too busy watching the game. But it's weird, because I want this game to kind of want this game to succeed, right? Like, we don't want games to fail for any real reason. But it is very shocking when you see like everybody was watching it, and then like either they got beta codes or the game's been out long enough and everybody's just like, well, I've seen everything I need to see, which is a scary place to be at when your game has been basically quiet for 2 years. Like, you don't want people to be like, well, I've seen everything I need to see in less than a week. I think that Overwatch 2, with the right updates, because it's all about your live service game, so you got to be live. With the right updates and the right add-ons, this could be cool, but that hurts. And I think they're doing a lot of, and one thing I've noticed too is they're using the beta to kind of get this kind of engagement from the community, because now if you didn't get a beta from watching it on Twitch on the 29th or whatever it was, now to get a beta you got to watch Overwatch League on YouTube. So you got to link up your YouTube account with your Battle.net account to get the Overwatch beta. So they're kind of using this beta to like move people back and forth, which is kind of scummy in the long run, because
it's a little crutch, boy. That's a little crutch.
You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're saying like, look at all these people watching Overwatch League, why are they watching Overwatch League? Because my boy was watching Overwatch League. Me and him were watching it. I was watching it because I enjoy the games. He was watching it to get a code. He watched the whole day of Overwatch games, didn't get a code, and he's probably gonna. I'm probably gonna be like, yo, just open that shit up again, just see if you can get in there. But like, how many people are sitting here watching it for the right reasons? You know, it's scary, because for people who do like the game, this isn't really reassuring. You know.
You're not wrong, and I agree. As one that doesn't care as much for Overwatch 2 or anything like that, I'm like, damn, homie, that's kind of tough. But no, in all honesty, when you're using promotional stuff as your main, I guess, main driver behind something, or at least one of the main drivers, Overwatch 2 beta, it's the first time you've seen Overwatch in years, like new content from Overwatch in years, but the promotional side as such a big component of that push. And while it did break records, of course, in 1.5 million, as soon as that shit went away, 15,000. You know what I'm saying? Now, 3,000, 22,000 across both categories. You know what I'm saying? Like, that can only take you so far. You know what I mean? And I think the big shot in the foot has to be the branding again. It really has to come down to that. People still think that, like, oh, we'll just play Overwatch 1, you know what I'm saying? Or just do that stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, or, you know, Overwatch League, I mean, I don't care for Overwatch League personally. But there's so many differing opinions, and it does not help that the brand is diluted between Overwatch and Overwatch 1 and 2, and them not figuring out if there's any major differentiators between those two to be like, okay, Overwatch 1's becoming 2 anyway, so I mean, we might as well just chill out and not even like pay too much attention to it or whatever. And there's already a whole boatload of people who've kind of shifted on from Overwatch as a whole. Like, again, like there's people who, like, again, they didn't play Overwatch for a while and they came in here to get their fill to see if it's, you know, for them or not, decided, oh, it's probably not, whatever, and then moved back on to the next thing that they were doing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's like, yo, life has moved on. You know what I mean? Like they kind of they did their thing, bro. So you can't pop in. It's just like the Sixth Sense, bro. They trying to be, you know what I'm saying, get back into their people's life, but then they moved on. They don't even know you're here, bro. You gonna see a Elder Ring gonna be looking at you in the corner like, I see dead people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you gotta realize at some point it's really hurting you to have that branding and the decision that you kind of are stuck in now. So you have to really just kind of prove yourself when the game releases with content on content on content. You have to have characters like, I would say, a character every 6 weeks or a character every 2 months. You know what I mean? Something like that. Like, it's something close to that range to tell people, hey, listen, we're adding onto this so consistently that we are a new game. We are a new experience where you're not going to get the same, you know, it's not going to be just Overwatch 1. We're going to have all these new, you know, people, new things, new maps. It has to be such a consistent churn that it, over time, week on week, it gains people to come back to the platform, come back to Overwatch 2 and say, hey, you know, that is kind of different. Okay, that is, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, generally this gameplay is, you know, of course, at its core the same, but series, blah, blah, blah. But there's enough differences in it to facilitate, hey, okay, there's like some 5 support characters now or 7 support characters. How about they added over the first, like, you know, 4 months of the game, they boosted up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like 11 or 12. Oh, there's a whole slew of support. Everybody's playing support now. The meta's changed. Okay, what's going on with this? Let's figure it out. Having that consistent churn is key for them to overturning the dip that they've had. You know what I mean? Yeah. Cut the promotional shit. Just focus on your content offering and making sure it's the best Overwatch it can be. And that's where you'll see things recover for Overwatch and get to at least a stable place. But in terms of its kind of like clash of the Titans, I guess, race, as you would call it, with, you know, League of Legends, with Apex, with all that stuff, you're not going to hit that. You're not going to hit that. You know what I mean? I don't think you're going to hit that for a good while. And I feel like it would take a consistent effort from the creators you have involved with Overwatch, and how consistently they're involved with stuff, because they have projects that they have to get to and stuff like that. Like, bro, you only last so long for like the next Call of Duty come out and everybody's on Call of Duty again, and then like the next season update for Apex is coming, and, you know, another Halo drop is coming, and then like just all this stuff. You know, lo and behold, you know what I'm saying? You better pray Elden Ring don't drop no DLC, because everybody's dropping all they shit and going that way. You know what I mean? It's like there is so much clutter that could potentially muddy the path of Overwatch 2. They have to be near flawless with their content drops. And it all comes back to that. It comes back to the consistency of their content churn and how they can continually prove to their audience that, hey, this is a brand new experience. We want everybody to be involved in this, and this is something that you won't regret purchasing. You know what I'm saying? Or upgrading to. You know what I mean? So yeah, it comes down to the content at the end of the day.
1000%. I completely agree with you. It definitely comes down to, I mean, you just got to go the Apex route, because Apex wasn't the most popular battle royale when it first dropped. Honestly, up until season 7, I want to say until season 7, I didn't really see that many people talking about Apex.
You're right.
Like,
no, you're not right. You're not wrong.
Like, it was when Fuse was. I remember when Fuse dropped was the first time like I saw people like being like, "Yo, have you guys seen this?" Or like the game being so loaded up that people were crashing the servers. Like, that's when I really started noticing like the game was like, "Oh wow!" After 7 seasons, people care. So you gotta just you gotta be consistent. And that's really what a lot of people complain about with Overwatch, is there just hasn't been consistent updates or consistent anything. So if they come out and they're consistent and they just keep pushing, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but I want to say 6, 7, maybe 8 seasons in the future, we might see a lot more people interested in the game, or we might see a lot more talks of the game.
That's right. You heard the official no cooldown Overwatch correspondent. You heard him. All right. All right, man. Let's move on to the next one. You already know what's coming. There's going to be one every week. I'm not even playing at this point. There probably is going to be one every week because they're so consistent. What the hell? Fortnite again, bro. Listen, how many times can you guys just win, bro? I don't care. I'm calling this a win. Do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Fortnite really do got the force, bro. They got the juice and all that because Star Wars is back on the battle bus in an event lasting from this week to the 17th. They got blasters, they got lightsabers, they got missions, they got halls of skins, they got Finn, they got Mandalorian, they got all these different people, man. Star Wars is back in the cut and it's looking pretty good, man. What you think about it?
It's actually really fun. The lightsabers are pretty sick. They don't feel overpowered whatsoever because like a lightsaber is all cool and dandy, but like you still can get shotgunned in the face. Yeah. Like they still got bullets in them. They still hurt. The blaster is very much a blaster, no bullets on it, but it's very much a stormtrooper blaster. Like if you hit those shots, you're a god. Because let me tell you, I can't hit those shots. It's a really cool event. Fortnite's still eating as per usual. I gotta get my battle pass done. I only got a month left. I want to get that Doctor Strange skin. I'm so close,
bro. It's insane. And the cool thing I saw about it, like the animations behind the lightsaber duels and stuff are actually pretty fluid. Like they look pretty dope. And they're not like just a simple like swing, whatever. They're doing flips. They're doing all this different stuff. I'm like, they're doing actual like lightsaber fighting. I'm like, bro, effort, time, just it looks beautiful.
Yeah,
like
they're trying.
Dog, it's wild, bro. The turnaround that Epic has had with Fortnite is kind of insane. And we'll talk about it in time. Man. That's crazy, bro. I'm gonna have to go back in the history books and erase my hating, bro. They're gonna have to sue me, bro. I don't know what's going on.
That's so funny.
Oh shoot, bro. All right. Let's switch gears a little bit, man. Let's talk about the trailer trove. You know what I'm saying? The segment where we cover a lot of different media stuff, especially and specifically on movies, TV projects, and all that and the like. First of which, you know what I'm saying? Netflix has sped to the press to talk about the newest series coming to the platform, Sonic Prime. And I was going to be, of course, jumping into more of the kids animation lane. The series was announced to be on the way with a bunch of other kids shows. Got a bunch of stuff included in it. Got a couple looks in the video. Yeah, I mean, off the hype of Sonic and Sonic the Hedgehog 2, you know, Sonic Prime, it got a new voice actor as well. I mean, more Sonic, I guess, man. What you feeling about it?
I like Sonic, the character. Sonic is such an interesting character because he's one of the few mascots. Like the brand in and of itself is like extremely strong because there's no brand that can have that many bad games in it and still
be it's press resistant, bro. It makes no sense.
They could drop a Sonic game tomorrow, it flop, and we all expect it to flop, and they'll still somehow be on top. Like people are still gonna be Sonic fans. It's insane. I'm not against it. Honestly, if it's a good show, I'll watch it. I really wanted to. The biggest importance for me would be the animation. Like I would need good animation and a good story because I like Sonic and I would be for a Sonic like animated TV show. It's just got to be good. My biggest concern though is because like we know Netflix and we know how much they love animated stuff. How long is this going to be here for? Like are y'all did say y'all were gonna cancel a bunch of animated stuff because y'all lost some money, and it doesn't seem like you guys are making the moves to earn a lot of money. So what is the longevity of this?
Yeah, you heard him. If you ain't got Boss Baby numbers, then it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Take Sonic out back.
Yeah, facts. You ain't gonna have no rings no more, though. You gonna have to come off those, bro. They got it, bro. If you don't got them Boss Baby numbers, bro, your contract's terminated. It's a fact. It's crazy. But no, seriously though, it looks like from the little animation bits I got, it actually looked pretty solid. Again, like no complaints on this side. I'm not like the biggest Sonic fan, but Sonic been getting a lot of love and I respect that. So yeah, I just hope they a lot of these shows on this trailer, especially Sonic, beats the one season curse. You know what I'm saying? I hope they can get enough to get over the hump and not get canceled in one season while Boss Baby's got like however many iterations on that damn platform. Cause I don't know.
Yeah.
Bro, that's crazy. All right, a little bit deeper into the trailer troll, man. Let's dig a little bit deeper in it. According to Deadline, Viola Davis is set to reprise her role as Amanda Waller in an HBO Max spin-off series of Suicide Squad coming soon. Now, there's not too many details yet, but word from James Gunn on a second spin-off series connected to the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker that is, quote, not as much comedy as the Peacemaker, but you know what I'm saying, very, very actiony and serious in another way. That really could corroborate that this series that he's talking about would be the one that's being led by Amanda Waller, you know, and Viola Davis, of course. So what are you thinking about this, man? Suicide Squad type of offshoot, Amanda Waller, you know what I'm saying, at the helm. What do you think about it?
Viola Davis is an amazing actress. I would love to see. I like her in almost every role. I haven't seen the newest. We're not gonna talk about it.
I'm about to say
almost. You want
almost.
to talk about? Like I just like listen. We can't all be perfect. All right. I haven't seen the show myself. I haven't seen the show myself, so I cannot speak on it. But I think we've all made mistakes in our past, or some, you know, maybe it's not a mistake. Maybe, you know, Twitter's blowing it up. But anywho, I think her role as Amanda Waller is going to be great, and I have no reason to doubt that. So I want to see where this goes, but the DC series, like I like Peacemaker. Like I like it. I think it's a good show, but I never was sitting there watching Peacemaker. Like I need more of it. Like I just it just doesn't. I want to see some really good shows come out of them. Like Marvel is doing an interesting thing where they're taking characters that we don't know a lot about in the movies and making them, giving me a reason to watch a show about them. Whereas like the reason we watch the Marvel TV shows is to watch the Marvel movies, like to understand everything. Like I watched the recap for WandaVision. I've accepted that I was never going to finish it. I watched the recap for WandaVision and I was like, okay, I can see why watching this, you'd be excited to watch anything else. You know what I'm saying? Like I see the why this show is important, but like, I don't know why I want to watch Peacemaker outside of the fact that I like Peacemaker, but I don't really like Peacemaker enough to watch a whole hour-long episode every week or whatever, you know? And that's kind of where it comes down to, is that like, there's incentive to watch the Marvel shows, even if they're not good. The DC shows just have to be good, and Peacemaker is a good show, but why am I going to watch the Amanda Waller show? What's building up? You know, you got to give me, with things that are based off of, I'm assuming, movies, because I think that's where they're heading with this. When you want to make this big cinematic universe, you kind of have to have the universe there first for me to care.
I agree. It has to be something that's really heavily connected with other Suicide Squad characters. It doesn't have to be the main cast, but someone and a good amount of characters from the Suicide Squad that are there. Again, I feel like it would tie directly to the events of what happened in the Suicide Squad. It has to be a good amount of cameos, honestly. Amanda Waller by herself isn't compelling enough to me to necessitate, hey, listen, I gotta go see this show. You know what I mean? Like,
valid.
She government agent, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, she the feds. I'm not pulling up to a show just for the feds like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, only exception low key is Jim Gordon, but Jim Gordon be getting into some crazy stuff though. That's a whole thing. Yeah. That's Jeffrey right now. I just want to let y'all know. All right. So that's a whole different story. But it just needs to have a different, a good amount of cast of characters to facilitate different storylines, world building, and whatnot. And again, there's no slight on her character or anything like that. She's not the problem of the show. It's just what needs to be filled in with the show to make sure it's an actually enticing product. So Amanda Waller's performance, Viola Davis is one of them ones, bro. She is again, top tier actress. She does a lot of dope stuff. You know what I mean? Like, that is fine, but you have to kind of pack the show with content around DC characters, around DC lore, and around DC storylines that are going to develop into the, the DCEU and cinematic universe, and how they continue to basically kind of fill that certain quota. Because I'm like, what story can you tell that doesn't involve other characters that's just Amanda Waller that's going to be compelling? You know what I mean? Off the top of my head, I cannot name any like that. Of course, some comic book head in the university be like, yo, what are you talking about, bro? This is a great story with Amanda Waller. Shut your ass up. I'm not talking to you. There's just certain, again, thresholds that you have to hit, and certain boxes that you have to check. And I feel like with her role and the amount of people she might have access to via the Suicide Squad, like the, her government agent and the network and stuff, it can be a good show. It can be a really good show. My one request for this, please keep Amanda Waller as far away from the White House as possible. I don't want no other roles bleeding into each other. I don't want no cross bleeding roles or nothing like that, bro. Listen, why? I'm here. This is not even Suicide Squad talk. It's not even the spinoff show talk no more, bro. Listen, when it was right, we all take L's in our life, and that's fine. That's fine. All I'm saying is, that's wild, bro. When you have a lot of W's and then you just have that L out of nowhere, we're gonna stop for a second and be like, yo, damn, that's crazy. That's definitely an L. That's wild. My personal thing is, after this, I'm gonna repress that memory and make sure it never happened. Like it just didn't happen to me. It's just become something else. You know what I mean? Like,
it's just too much of a recent L to really
bro,
like just move past.
That joint burns, bro. That shit burns, bro. I'm like, oh, Viola, why did you do her like that? Did you consult her? Did you?
I just don't even think it's a Viola thing. I think
it's a mix, bro. It's the whole situation. Everybody's at fault here.
There's multiple people that need to go to jail. That's what it feels like. It's not a one person thing.
Facts, bro. Did you see that? The openness to the. I'm like, bro. There's actually no way we cleared this, bro. We didn't. This did not make it past test shoots. Come on now. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. But anyways, I think Suicide Squad the spin is going to be a good show. But again, Amanda Waller and Washington, D.C. do not need to mix. Put her wherever she needs. Do not put her anywhere near the Oval Office, please. Thank you. I approve this message. My name is Tripp and I approve this message. Thank you. All right. On to the last story of the trailer trove. We got another trailer this week for the Game of Thrones spinoff, House of the Dragon. And it's looking pretty fire. I'm not going to lie to you, man. So set long before the events of Game of Thrones and Jon Snow's time, looks like we're getting a lot more of the Targaryen clan and Daemon Targaryen and the Mad King and all those plot lines that we heard tidbits of in the first iteration of the series. Daemon Targaryen is played by Matt Smith, the one dude from, who's taking that check from Morbius. And yeah, it's dropping August 21st. And, it really might be time to get in that George R.R. Martin bag again, man. So, I mean, how you feeling about this one? What's going on with House of the Dragon?
This franchise has been tarnished. That's like I see the trailer and I think about Game of Thrones and I'm like, not happy anymore. And I used to be really happy about Game of Thrones. That's what's so crazy. Is that, like, I remember when I first started, I was like, this shit is ass. And then it was like, oh no, this shit is not ass. And then I was like, man, I hope I never finish this show because I'm having a great time. And then I did finish the show. And I was like, that was such a bad way to finish the show. It's insane. So will I get back into the show? Perhaps. My brother's a huge Game of Thrones fan, so like if he's like, yo, dude, you gotta watch the show, then sure, I'll watch the show. But it doesn't look bad by any means. Again, like, it doesn't look bad, but it's just what has happened in this franchise is really hard to move past.
I understand, but listen, the D&B brothers can't hurt you anymore. You're safe. I promise you, you're safe.
I don't believe that. I still feel like they can hurt me somehow.
They're not there. They're not there, bro. They're not involved with this, bro. Please, I promise you, bro. You can hug me. I'm here. I'm here.
I need to go to like HBO therapy because I don't believe that the people who made Game of Thrones are not behind bars. They're out there like running amok.
Facts. He said they're in cahoots with the current producers, man. They doing some shit.
Yo, I'm telling you, bro. I feel like I don't know what it is, man. I'm getting PTSD from this franchise. Like, I can't look at dragons and be like, oh, cool, a good TV show. Like, I feel like I'm gonna be let down again.
I understand. Yeah, of course, the ending of the infamous last season left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths, and it sucks. But I will say that I have faith that this will be a really good show still. It just gonna have to prove itself episode to episode, man. Like the first Game of Thrones did for me. Like, I didn't know anything about Game of Thrones coming into it, and then like I watched it like late. Everybody was like on season like 6 or 7, while I was on like season 1, caught up. And again, season on season, it just proved its worth. They're like, yo, it's a great show, it's a great story, great world building and all that stuff. And I feel like this can do the same, especially with all of the, different time periods, especially that we're in. Like, this seems like a really good time and a good story to pick up on with the Mad King and all the stuff that we heard about that. Targaryens all running around. More black folk in there. You know what I'm saying? I think they might be Targaryens as well. Someone correct me if I'm wrong.
But I saw that.
that joint looked fire too. You know what I mean? And I'm interested in seeing how how different the story is and how it connects to the the first Game of Thrones series. But yeah, bro, that's my main point, bro. The D&B brothers, they can't hurt you, bro. They can't hurt you. They're not here. They're not here. I promise. They're figments of your imagination at this point. It didn't happen. They're imaginary monsters. I checked the closet. They're not in there, bro. I promise you. I promise you.
We'll see, bro. We'll see.
All right, man. Getting on to the last story of the day, outside of the trailer trove, we got a bit of an insider story this week, man. And this actually, this kind of jogged up some other memories, and just speaking generally about certain things. For those of you that didn't know, including myself, the Venn network really kind of like collapsed. I don't know if you guys remember the Venn network, but they were basically kind of like a startup network for gaming, music, and entertainment that had like a lot of huge backing at the start of 2020, ahead of their launch, man. They started talking about it, campaigning for in like 2019, 2020. They had a lot, like, they had like, what's it called? They had Dumbfounded, Sasha Grey, a lot of different hosts and whatnot, with a slew of reports suggesting internal mismanagement, rounds of layoffs as COVID hit, a boys club culture, wage disparity despite heavy spending, a lack of audience understanding, and a whole lot more. Of course, Venn met a rough demise, which nobody ever really knew about. I completely forgot about the asses, but I think this is a good lesson, honestly, and just talking about it, bro. Because I mean, this insider story this week, it just shed a lot of light on how organizations run, from media of gaming to actual gaming organizations themselves, with some more other stories that came out this week. Around the same time period. So, I mean, just ask you, man, how you feel about, Venn dropping and everything that happened internally that's now coming out?
It's really interesting, actually, because I remember Venn being like blowing up the timeline when it was like announced and whatnot. And I remember like watching a few shows on there because it was literally just trying to be G4 in a sense. Not necessarily being exactly bar for bar, but it was more so like, hey, we know that people miss G4. We're gonna try to replicate that, and it was a great concept. But then like it disappeared, and it was so weird because it's kind of like they did the Men in Black like flash before they left. Because when they stopped pulling up, I stopped realizing it. Like I was just like, where? Like I never really like remembered it, and it wasn't until you put this story in here, I'm like, who the fuck is Venn? And then I saw the logo and I'm like, oh my God, this is insane. I forgot about it. Because this was literally, so many people were like pitching like, hey, I would love to be a part of the show. Get me on as a host. Da, 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 da. Like, it's crazy.
Oh my gosh. I completely remember. Okay. This is why I remember watching it. My personal story is, of course, I support a lot of different creators and stuff like that. I'd be watching a lot of different creators. I remember a show on there called, I think it was like Looking for Gains or Chasing for Gains or something like that, with Cash Nasty or something like that. Like he had a whole like fitness show, and then I'm about to say, and then my boy Ace of All Trades was on there, bro. Shout out Ace of All Trades. I'm about to say that dude's dope. And I remember he was on there, and people were tweeting like, "Oh yeah, he's on the show," and the network had a lot of different backing. Like it had a good start. Honestly, it had like thousands of views when they dropped on Twitch and on their different, on their platforms. They started off hot. I'm not gonna lie to you. They started off really, really strong. They had consistent viewership across, all the channels, especially on Twitch as they went live and stuff like that. But the thing that gets me is when these stories come out internally, and it shows you how frantic and how lacking in vision these companies really are when it comes to this stuff, bro. Like some of the big reports, man. Well, first and foremost, the first thing I was like, oh, they knew that G4 is coming back when they saw the announcement stuff like that. They was like, oh yeah, we hope we can compete with G4, kind of like share the same space and be competitors. I'm not gonna lie. In my first glance, I'm like, yo, we need to make sure everything is like batting down the hatches. We need to get ahead of them as far as possible before they come back, because the brand value of G4 coming back alone like trumps whatever you're doing. You know what I'm saying? As a new network, as a new unknown, it's hard to beat the nostalgia that G4 set. So you already have to start thinking ahead and start expanding and getting stuff like laid down for like years in the making, just to make sure that's solid. 1. 2, internally, it seemed like there was so many different problems, bro. There was like so much. There was people. If you look at the article, man, I'm forgetting who was Input Magazine. They were literally talking about so many different topics. They were talking about crunch, internal mismanagement, internal misspending of funds. They were talking about so many different things, a lack of strategy above all else, and them this is one of the quotes that kind of killed me. They were like, "Yo, we're trying to be like the MTV of gaming and stuff like that and entertainment." And come to find out, our audience did not want that at all. Like, I'm like, bro, how did y'all not do a focus group or at least test that vision beforehand? It just shows a lack of foresight that some of these people who are investing millions and millions of dollars into the gaming space are doing. That's what they're coming with, bro. It's gaming has become, of course, such a hot commodity. And again, and we've already said this, in years, it will be the biggest entertainment platform or entertainment medium on the planet by a country mile. And it's already turning into that. But people are also coming with impure and unfleshed out intentions. People come in just to burn their money. Hey, yo, listen, we want to make this like an MTV type thing, not knowing that the people here, we want something niche. We want something that feels a little bit like homey. You know what I'm saying? We don't want any, major overboating, big, grandiose type of thing, bro. We want something that we can connect with at a basic level. You know what I mean? And if they're saying they don't have a strategy like that, and they're coming, oh, listen, we just need big, we just need to cover a wide net and have all this different stuff. You're coming in with the wrong idea. And then they just, apparently from this article, they threw all this money. They threw all this money at everything, bro. The CEO's raising like $43 million across a bunch of funding and investing. And apparently they had huge kickbacks and huge paychecks, while the people who were working day in, day out, who got hired on, they wasn't getting paid their fair wage, bro. People was like, yo, I could have got this much money from my old job. But a lot of people stayed because of what they believed was, hey, this is mission critical. This could actually be something. They believed in the project. That's tough because they had y'all working like crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I feel sad for the people who were, again, working day in and day out to make a gaming network from the ground up and try and believe in that, because every day to day, you know what I'm saying, when you're in something, it's hard to kind of look out and see the optics from above and what it's looking like and how everything's moving. But as things are going, you kind of push yourself no matter how bad it gets. And from the looks of it, it gets really, really bad, bro. Especially that concept of the boys culture and, them hiring their friends. You know what I'm saying? CEOs hiring their friends who hire their friends who bring in these people. I've seen it. From Ven, we've seen it now. There's a bunch of stuff about TSM that happened this week. About, like I think it was like the CEO just kind of like got rid of their whole HR person because he had questions he didn't like. And I'm just like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's happening in the game industry. I'm like, yo, we don't even hear about it. And it's just a bunch of fuckery. And that's why some of these organizations, don't last or don't hit as well as they do, because you have people like this who are impure to the intentions and the actual, goodwill of gaming industry, and not doing it for the betterment of, of gaming, or filling a need that's proper, and just, coming in for, a check, or trying to fill some empty space with a lack of vision.
It's kind of crazy. It's sad. I'm happy that, I don't want to say I'm happy for their downfall, but it's more so like I'm happy that people who were doing things with the wrong intentions didn't succeed in doing what they were trying to set out for. Because it could have been a good, it could have been a good, would have been a cool company if it was trying to do it the right way. But you can't really, there's just no really two ways to cut it. When you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And if you really have a passion for what you're trying to set out to do, you need to not only make sure you're sticking true to your beliefs, but making sure you're sticking true to your team and making sure that everybody's taken care of, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
They wasn't doing that. I remember when, like you weren't, and that's why we're here now. I remember when I first saw the whole Ven thing come out, I was like kind of excited, and I was thinking to myself, like, man, I would love to be a part of like a video game TV show in a kind of way, because I was still in between like doing content creation full time and doing film stuff full time. But now, like, it's just like, I'm happy that I didn't like put all my eggs in that basket or whatever, because obviously that not everybody who says they're about this really is about this,
I'm telling you, bro, it's crazy. And I don't know, well, unfortunately or fortunately, they got sussed out really quickly. I mean, they launched August of 2020, and like they've been probably long gone for months. This is the first I'm hearing about them in like an actual like minute. Like, it's a minute since I last heard that name, bro. I'm just like, that's wild. They went under like a year, bro. And it kind of goes to show you, bro, with whatever you do, not even just gaming, bro, come with pure intentions. You're like, come honest, and, be prepared, because if you come in haphazardly, just throw money at a problem, or throw whatever, the same problems that have plagued other companies and have plagued other organizations who haven't been as honest and true with this type of shit. It's gonna happen. History repeats itself, you know. So
yeah,
it honestly is what it is. But I mean, I'm still watching G4, so I mean, I'm straight, bro. I'm straight.
Yeah, like I'm sorry, but the hole that was left by G4 got filled by G4, so it's like what am I missing out on here?
Like quite literally, and you can say they did their best. They did a quality job at matching up with the ethos of old and the spirit of old G4 and connecting to new audiences in their formats now. You know what I mean? Of course, they refreshed the cast and had it half and half with all the new people stepping. Actually, mostly new people stepping in. Again, they're having skits, they're having stuff available everywhere, man. It's like they're keeping it pretty niche, man. They tried to go. They kept it again focused on G4. They kept it focused on what G4 does best. You know what I'm saying? The gaming side of things and keeping it around that sphere. And that's what gets them in that good pocket. That's what gets G4 where it needs to go. And that's what's going to keep it growing past a certain point. You know what I mean? Where they can branch off and do other things. But I think where Ven got a little bit, you know, sloppy is they didn't have enough strategy and decided, hey, listen, we're going to do one size fits all. We'll do music, we'll do entertainment, we'll do all this different stuff. And it's hard to keep track of all that stuff. You know what I mean? If you don't have a solid base. And I feel like they try to do too much too quickly on top of all the other internal issues of, you know, them having worker crunch, them not dealing with COVID properly, them firing people, like the terrible culture internally, you know what I'm saying? Like the no vision, like that's crazy, dog. I don't know if you remember this TikTok. I don't know if you remember TikTok. It was like some dude ranting about a soccer team. He was like, there's no passion, there's no aggression.
Yeah.
Yo,
no, but
bro.
it's true though. Because it's just funny because it's like one thing you gotta understand is that just because gaming is making a lot of money doesn't mean you can just slap gaming onto something and it's gonna make a lot of money. Because getting gamers to watch anything is really hard to do because they're gamers, they want to play games. I know I'm a gamer, I want to play games. And this is somebody who graduated and had a degree in film. Like I play way more video games than I watch movies. And I love movies, but I'm still a gamer at heart. It's hard to fucking get them to stop playing video games to listen to your show. And if your show ain't entertaining, they're just gonna go back on the game.
Exactly. I ain't got no more to say. That's a good note to lead that off with, man, because you're dusty. Anyways, that's all the notes I had on the pod today. Anything that we might have missed from this week? Any other stories? Anything that might have possibly slipped through the cracks of the show note taking abilities?
I don't think so. Like we said before, it's gonna be a little bit slow leading up to the Summer Games event and leading up into June because there's a lot of games dropping in June. But I can't think of anything that I myself missed out on. Trek to what is it called? Trek to Yomi.
Trek to Yomi is out.
Yeah, Trek to Yomi is out. That's really the only thing that
already bought it, baby.
Yeah, it's on.
It's on Game Pass as well. I'm about to say, yeah, you're right. That's also true.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I have.
Man. Nothing else I had on that, but I'll say this, my closing note first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, I'll leave the no, I'll say it right now. I lied. Make sure you follow everybody, you know what I'm saying, on the social channels, man. No Cooldown Pod on Twitter, YouTube, Wotaku channel, WOTAKU channel. And WenEazy on all social platforms. For WenEazy stuff, for my stuff, ThatManTripp on all social platforms. Make sure you tap in with everything, bro. I'm telling you. And again, just another reminder: Mario Kart's never coming. Oh, not Mario Kart. Mario movie's never coming out. You know what I'm saying? Fingers crossed. You know what I'm saying? And make sure y'all check out the podcast platforms. You know, the audio platforms. Make sure you rate it 5 stars on Apple Podcast, Stitcher Radio, Spotify. You know what I'm saying? Google Podcast. On Anchor itself, make sure you go check it out. You know what I mean? Like, make sure you guys do your thing. Show us some love, man. We're really trying to get up there. 21 episodes deep. We got a lot more to go. And my final note, I will say, is go see Doctor Strange, man. Stop playing with me. Go see Doctor Strange right now. Book your tickets. I promise you. I'm right there. I'm right behind you, bro. Book your tickets. Stop playing. That's gas. Stop playing on Sam Raimi's name. That's all I got to say, bro. When we get to talking about the spoiler cast, yeah, go book that. Go book that. That's all I gotta say. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm watching it. I'm watching it on Saturday, like Saturday morning, I'm watching it.
Hey man, I'm gonna hound you, bro. I'm gonna take a flight and hawk you down, bro. That's all good. That's good. Saturday, I like that. That's a good time, bro.
It's Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is definitely one of my favorite Marvel superheroes. So it's like I'm like, all right, I gotta watch it. Even though I don't know how I feel about making him like I don't. The biggest issue I had with it was I was just like, I want Doctor Strange to get his own movie. Even though this is still a Doctor Strange movie, I feel like people are seeing this and I feel like they're using this as a way of like pushing the MCU forward. But that's kind of every single Marvel movie. Like,
Yeah.
I want there are certain Doctor Strange stories that I want to be told that have nothing to do with other Marvel heroes or other like I want it to be a Doctor Strange film kind of thing.
I feel that. And I'm not saying nothing because you gotta watch it. And
no, yeah, we'll talk about it. We're definitely gonna talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? That spoiler cast is gonna be I've been waiting, boy. I'm sitting here meditating now, you know what I'm saying? I'm waiting on it, bro. I'm waiting on y'all for it. Oh man, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. But yeah, with that being said, you know what I'm saying? That has been episode 21 of No Cooldown Podcast. Listen, y'all be easy. Tip your waitresses, drink y'all water, tell people you love them. Go play some nice games outside, you know what I'm saying? Do your thing. Book Doctor Strange or I'm on your ass. And with that, we are out of here.